Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WodCAST podcast. I am your host. I am in very bad lighting right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, because I'm outside. The bingo bus I'm not using. I am now out on my deck in the backyard trying to build a studio. No, I'm not rolling up my sleeves if you're looking. That's not my Fonzie look. It's just this t-shirt. Welcome to the WodCAST podcast. I am your host, Eddie F. Each and every week, I do a show about health, fitness, whatever. Strength, conditioning, CrossFit. You know, sometimes I talk mountain biking. Sometimes I talk skiing. Sometimes I talk a lot of my hobbies. I'm a comedian. I talk a lot of comedy. But for the most part, if you're generally into health and fitness and strength and conditioning, this is the place to go. You know, you care about your nutrition. I am the master of all those. I don't know if you guys know what a physically fit individual I am. Actually, I don't know where I stand in my age group. But I'm going to know because I'm going to do the CrossFit Games this year. That's right. I'm signing up. Bert Kreischer is not signing up. My friend Bert Kreischer. Please, somebody clip this and send it to him. Send him this clip. My friend is Bert Kreischer. I've been friends with him for 25 years. 25 years. He won't even acknowledge me. He talks about what an amazing athlete he is, what an amazing fit person he is, works out, does all these challenges, goes against Tom Segura. Doesn't give me any credit. Never. And I think I'd kick his ass in everything. And I mean everything. The only thing he could probably beat me in is sumo wrestling. Other than that, I'm pretty sure I could beat him in strongman. I could beat him in any kind of weightlifting. He might be able to wrestle me. That sumo wrestling for sure. But name a sport. Baseball, basketball, football, boxing, hockey, soccer, you name it. I'll beat him. And he won't give me credit. And I didn't even start this. Some of the fans did. They were like, hey, Bert, you're Mr. Fit guy. Why don't you go against Eddie F? Why don't you do the CrossFit Open? We know he's done CrossFit. We know for a fact. And he like does 6 miles a day. I think he like walks it. But I don't know. He might run it. Whatever. I'll still beat him no matter what. And he won't do it. Now he's talking about big wave surfing, and I've been working on a project with the guys from formerly of Surfer Magazine for 3 years now about surfing big waves. And I've been surfing for 15 years, and I'm still not a good surfer, but Bert has surfed like up twice and says he's going to go surf with Nathan Florence. Well, good luck. I'll be in Maui 2 weeks going out to visit the wave that we've been working on this project, so should be interesting. Anyway, I'm just here to trash Bert, and if you want to go to, I don't know what he is, at Bert, or at Bert Kreischer or whatever, I'm giving him free publicity. He won't give me any. Does not want me to get any publicity at all, especially because my new album's coming out March 23rd, March 30th. March 23rd on iTunes, I believe. I think you can pre-order on the 23rd. Please do. If you're a fan of the show, please pre-order. And also, if you're a fan of the show, best way to support the show is through Patreon. We have a Patreon, and it has been doing incredibly well lately. And I want to thank all of you guys, everybody who's ever been a Patreon. If I haven't thanked you personally on the show, and if you haven't gotten your Myopux or your Leopard Claw, because we pick a different winner every week, and you get a Myopux, which is an electronic muscle stimulator and TENS unit, and then a Leopard Claw, which is like a Graston that you use to scrape adhesions. We give a pair of these every week to someone that donates at least $5 to the Patreon. And if I have not gotten it to you, they do it for me out of Myopux and Leopard Claw. If we have not gotten it to you, please send me an email at wodcastpodcast@yahoo.com. Tell me the episode that you won and your name and email, and I will make sure you get it, because I know there's a few people out there that have not received them. I get messages in my Instagram, in my Facebook, in my Twitter, and I can't keep them all together. So this way they all go to the WodCast email, which is wodcastpodcast@yahoo.com, and I will make sure My Pucks and Leopard Claw gets those right out to you. I want to let you know, if you pay the $5 a month, you're also included in the extra episode. We do 4 episodes a month that are free right here. We do 1 extra episode now once a month that you get on Patreon. You have to go onto the Patreon, onto WodCAST Podcast at patreon.com. Or no, it's WodCastPodcast.com/Patreon or patreon.com/WodCast. You go to either of those, and it brings you to the Patreon page, and then you can listen to that episode. Last month, we did a 30, 40, 50. This month, I'm doing an episode with Shane Moss, a friend of mine who knows a lot about psychedelics. We're going to talk about that. And then I just contacted this guy I've been trying to have on the show. I heard about him on NPR. He visited he was trying to go to 220 countries, and he only had 10 left, and he ended up in Syria, and they threw him in prison for 60 days. And he got back to me like, I don't know what I want to do right now, but maybe I'll do your show, maybe I won't. So I'd love to have him on. I think it'd be a really interesting conversation. I have a lot of questions, and I'm sure you would enjoy it. So do me a favor. Check that out. That's just go to the Patreon. I'm going to pick a winner right now. Okay? I am going to pick a winner right now of the Patreon. Let's see. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Who do I pick? Last week I picked a guy. I found it very funny. He had he called himself Dirk Diggler, and I thought everybody would come up with like funny names now because of that, and use that as their name. Blake Johnson, you already won. I'm going through here it is. Jake Mammon, M-A-M-M-E-N. I hope I said it right. Jake Mammon. You are the winner of the Patreon. You get yourself a Maya Pucks and a Leopard Claw. Thank you for participating. Thank you to everyone else who has. Please keep contributing, and do it just because you love the show, but do it also because you get some cool swag maybe. And this episode this week is an awesome episode. It's brought to you by a couple people, most notably the Ready State. The Ready State, you guys all obviously know who Kelly Starrett is, do you not? If you don't, you must live in a cave, because he is like, he is one of the OGest of CrossFit that there is. Kelly is one of the people that I met first in CrossFit when it came to like high up in the CrossFit world. And he's, top the top when it comes to physical therapy. In my opinion, there's no one better. And basically the Ready State, what they have now, it's a virtual mobility coach, and it helps everyday athletes enjoy better movement, agility, and strength. It's founded by Dr. Kelly Starrett. He's created a program called the Virtual Mobility Coach. And now you, like I have had for a while, and nobody has ever helped me as much as him, you have direct access to Kelly. And he's cured me of everything I've ever had. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. One time I went into his gym and I was like, Kelly, I got this shoulder thing, And I just I pointed. I was like, I got this. And he was like, here. And he gave me this little, it was like a child's weightlifting bar. And he's like, here, do this. And he had me do these like crazy exercises behind my back. And I was like, how many? And he's like, just do a bunch during the day. And he was like, you're going to do this, do it like this, blah, blah, blah. And I just kept doing it. And after 6 months of having the shoulder pain that I couldn't get rid of, boom, got rid of it. He even said, take the bar with you, go. He's just a great guy. So basically you now have access to him. He's going to walk you through step by step through his proven techniques to relieve pain, improve range of motion, improve performance, on and on and on. If you're in pain, this is the coolest thing. You can pull up the picture of the human body, click on what hurts, and from there get a customized regimen to find relief to that. If you're working out or playing a sport, Virtual Mobility Coach offers all sorts of pre- and post-exercise mobility sequences for more than 50 sports and activities. So it's great because it's specialized to what you do, and it's going to make sure you're not hurting yourself or fixing yourself. And here's the deal. Right now, listeners of this podcast get a special deal. You can try Virtual Mobility Coach totally risk-free for 2 weeks. Everyone out there should try this. Everyone. Try it for 2 weeks. You're not going to pay a penny. Nothing. Try it completely free for 2 weeks. And if you decide to continue, you then can get 10% off using promo code WodCAST10. That's WodCAST10. Simply visit thereadystate.com. Use the code WodCAST10 at checkout. Again, that's thereadystate.com. Thereadystate.com. Use the code WodCAST10 when you sign up. Get 10% off for the life of your membership after your 14-day free trial ends. Hurry, though. This code expires June 1st. I don't want anybody asking me a month or two from now, hey, how do I get to June 1st? It expires. TheReadyState.com. Fix what ails you. Loosen yourself up. Trust Dr. Kelly Starrett. TheReadyState.com. Yeah, I can't emphasize enough how much you guys all should be using this. Now, I'm about to go do a workout right after this, and I feel a little sluggish. I was up all night. We have a new puppy, and the puppy beat the shit out of me. Made me take it out 4 times, I think, last night in the middle of the night. I'm crate training it. And crate training, I'd rather do squats all day. Thank God I've got Cellucor. I've got a refrigerator full of Cellucor. And you're like, what's Cellucor? It's just probably the best energy drink there is because your energy is coming from like all natural caffeine, 200 milligrams in the 16-ounce can, 150 in the 12-ounce can. Tastes delicious, and it's powered by carnosine, beta-alanine. It's designed to delay the onset of fatigue, resulting in improved power and performance. It's got citrulline malate, which supports an increase in nitric oxide levels. If you know about nitric oxide, that's all about the nasal breathing and everything, why you nasal breathe. This does it through that. It's also got some other stuff. It's, like I said, it's smart energy, and it's the only drinks infused with clinically studied performance benefits, okay? So other people might say, oh, this is an energy drink. This one's clinically proven. They got carbonated, non-carbonated versions, allow you to use before training. Some people don't like the carbonation. I love it. I love carbonation. I don't know why. And you can drink it throughout the day. It's going to help your mental performance. That carnosine beta-alanine, drinking one before your workout and even another one later in the day if you need to, it will not only give you a delicious sugar-free energy, but it's also loading your body with carnosine beta-alanine, which, like I said, it's clinically studied, and it supports muscular endurance and muscle capacity. So it's not just this like kind of buzz you get from caffeine where you're like, oh, I'm waking up. This is going to help your muscular endurance and your muscular capacity. So don't settle for any other energy drink. In fact, don't even settle for any sugar-free one. Like, there's all the ones with sugar. Don't even look at them, and don't even try the ones without sugar, because this is it. Go try the C4 lineup. They've got all different flavors. They're delicious. They've got like cherry limeade, orange slice, and they're going to give you 20% off, okay? 20% off at c4energy.com. That's C, letter C, number 4, energy.com, and they've got a discount code, my favorite discount code, 20% off WodCAST. Check it out, guys. Try it, c4energy.com. Okay, now we're going to start this episode with, oh God, I've been waiting to have this guy on forever. I mentioned that 50 times during the show. He's an awesome, awesome human being. Just a great, great human. He's also a badass human being. Former Navy SEAL, CrossFit owner, CrossFit Trident, motivational speaker, and adventure racer. I talked to him a lot about Adventure Racer. We've had Navy SEALs on. Not to diminish anything those guys do. They're the biggest studs in the world. He is one of them. He's got an interesting story how he got in. But not only that, he was on the first all-black adventure racing team, did the Eco Challenge. He's done a bunch of other adventure races. His show, I went and watched the Eco Challenge on Amazon and watched him in it, which was really cool. I did it after. I wish I had done it before. I have so many questions now. I want to have another episode with him. Just a really, really, really awesome dude. So please enjoy this episode. By the way, guys, I'm back on tour too. Thanks for everybody that came out in Scottsdale. There were a lot of CrossFitters there. And I am next weekend, I'm in San Diego somewhere. I'll post those dates on all my socials. And then I have Las Vegas coming up in April. I haven't been putting a lot of dates in the books, but I should, because my new album comes out March 23rd, pre-order, iTunes. And I got to get people. I'm going to try to put a tour together after the album comes out. So also that will be coming out if you're in Australia. It's going to be on TV there. I'll be announcing that in the next few weeks. So I hope you guys all can get the album here in America for sure. Canada is coming out on 800 Pound Gorilla. It's called Sweet Home Alabama. And then my tour, I'll be posting tour dates soon. I got to get a new assistant and start working again, because it's all coming back, ladies and gentlemen. Get vaccinated, get us all working again. Stay healthy, and enjoy this episode. Here we are. It's been a long time coming. Longer than the guest even knows. I've been trying to get you on the show for so long. I think I talked to Kenny Kane about you.
Kenny Kane's my man, dude. Kenny Kane is my man.
I talked to Troy about you. Everyone.
Yeah.
And
so awesome.
You're the elusive Chris Smith.
Well, technically, I'm just a bad planner. I should hire somebody to help me plan things. It'd be a lot better. But, we try to get there, man. We're here now, in the present, at this very moment, and we're going to get it on.
I've tried that, though. I've tried to have, assistants and all kinds of stuff like that. It just gets... I'm not that kind of guy. I'm a minimalist. I want as little people working for me as possible and as much money as I can possibly make. And not that I don't want to spread not that I don't want to spread the wealth. I would love to spread the wealth. I just feel like I can't handle too much clutter in my life.
Well, I think the goal for all of us is, to get as simple as possible and figure out what's actually necessary and get rid of the superfluous stuff that just gets in the way.
Yeah.
When we have that clear path in front of it, it's much easier to navigate.
Not to compliment CrossFit, because I don't like to compliment it, but I do a lot. But that's kind of what CrossFit is. It got all the crap out of the way.
Yeah.
And made lifting, working out efficient. It was
yes, and fun. More fun, at least.
Yeah. I was just hanging out with, I don't know if you know Mike Anderson. He owns CrossFit Malibu.
Okay.
He brought his kids up here the other day, and we went for a hike. His kids, my kids, and some friends. And we were talking about having kids and working out. And he's like, yeah, you get 15 minutes. And I was like, yeah. I go, I always do workouts now that have a run involved. So the run is my warm-up.
Warm-up, exactly.
And I'll do maybe crossover symmetry before, just to warm up my shoulders so I don't hurt them. And getting some bottom of my squat and just sit there for a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, here we go, 15-minute AMRAP.
I just started. So I have a group that we work with, just some friends of mine, and every week we do each person goes around the round table, gets a psychological challenge and a physical challenge. We're like, okay, what can we do? So we added this psychological thing, which was laughing in the mirror, and our physical challenge was to burn it down, to burn down the baseline minus the row. So the baseline is 500-meter row, 40 air squats, 30 sit-ups, 20 push-ups, and 10 pull-ups. So we take out the row, and you try to do the rest of that sub 2 minutes. And I was surprised. We did it 7 days in a row. I was surprised at how great it felt just crushing it for 1 minute and 30 seconds, 1 minute and 48 seconds every day. And I was like, I feel like I worked out, and I'm okay with that. I ain't got to do nothing else the rest of the day. It felt great, dude. And so it does work, man. It's potent. It's stimulus. It's a potent stimulus.
Well, my background is track, and I ran sprints. And the shorter the sprint, the better I was at it. And I remember how hard those workouts were. And if I told people sometimes what the workouts were, they're like, did you even run? And I'm like, yeah, I ran. And they're like, what, 12 100s? And I'm like, yeah, we ran 12 100-meter dashes as fast as we could. Yeah. And or 95 and 90%. Or like 8 400s, and I'm like,
And you're done.
they're like, you ran 2 miles in a track, and I'm like, dude, you don't understand. I was in the bushes puking afterwards.
I
Like,
know, and you're done. People forget about that, man. Then intensity is everything,
Yeah.
The art of the fartlek. We all had that
Yeah.
back in the track days, You're like, okay, let me go as fast as I can, but not pull a hamstring.
Yep.
That was always
Yep.
my big worry because I got tight hamstrings. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah. So you don't need too much all the time. You just got to get the effort in.
Yeah, and intensity is and even like you look at, which I'm getting into. I said I was going to do the Ironman this year because
Oh, nice.
yeah, I just said I got to get one out. Like,
Yeah.
you know why? I can't stand people that do the Ironman. Like anybody out there that's done the Ironman, you annoy me. You know why? Because there's so many of them that have done it, and
Yeah.
yet they act like I'm an Ironman. Well, so are 100 million other people. Because you go
Yeah.
there's a million people. I tried to sign up this year.
Hard to.
Every one of them sold out. They're all sold
Yeah.
out. And then
Yeah.
everybody goes and they buy all the merch. They buy the shirts, the bags, the hats, and then they get the tattoo that they're an Iron Man. We're like, we get it. You're an Iron Man. And so I want to do it with as little training as possible and just get
Yeah.
it done and be like, yeah, I did it. There's nothing to shut up. Like, shut up about your Iron Man.
You must not know the name of my secret club.
What is it?
The name of my secret club is this: Untrained and Unafraid. Sometimes you just gotta go. You're like, no, I didn't train at all for this. Yes, I know how to swim. Yes, I can ride a bike, and yes, I can run.
Yeah.
Let's just see what happens. You get punished. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
As soon as you get done, you're like, I should have trained some more. But you're capable of doing that. The mindset is that you're capable of doing that.
But that's the point I was getting to. These people that train like that are always the ones that get hurt.
Yeah.
The people that train intensely are, like the short burst stuff. They end up doing crazy, crazy stuff. And you're like, how'd you do that? And they're like, I just have a good base. I'm strong.
Yeah. It's nuts, man. It tells you about variety, though. It's hard to do like the same thing over and over and over again. The repetition causes more injury.
Yeah.
Then you talk about the Ironman, like the amount of time some of these people train is crazy. I appreciate them as athletes. I appreciate their joie de vivre, their vigor to do that sport, which is a great sport. I'm not taking anything away from that, but hey, man, 68 hours of training a week is a lot.
I can't stand that solitude.
Yeah.
That's if I had training partners and I was out with them, like of the 3 sports, I probably like swimming the least.
Yeah.
And it's probably the one I'm not best at. Yeah, maybe it's the one I'm best at. Because I don't like being in that pool alone. Like, you go for a run, you can talk to your buddy. You go for a bike ride, you guys are passing each other. There's shit happening. When you're in a pool, it's you go into this like cathartic, and I get it. Some people like meditate on it, but it's weird.
Yeah, you get to talk to the air monster and the air monster only.
Yeah, it's
Technique
really
and breathing, man. Technique and breathing. But it's the shortest of the 3 events, so hey,
yeah, that's true.
Be?
I know it's just like an hour.
Yeah.
I got a buddy who just signed up for the Around the Island swim in Atlantic City. He's going to swim 22 miles around Atlantic City. I'm like, why?
Oh.
And he's like, can you come be in my boat, like next to me? I'm like, no, I don't want to watch you do something boring for
Forever.
like, yeah. When people do like these,
not forever would be okay.
when people do endurance races, ask your friends to show up, say hi, and leave. Like stop at a point, say hi, and that's it. Don't ask them to like meet you or run beside you or do any of that stuff. It's like,
hey man, can I get you anything? Yeah, I can use some water. All right, bye.
Yeah. Somebody showed up. We did a 68-mile run, and somebody showed up and brought us In-N-Out Burger. And that was the best thing ever. They just dropped them off and left.
Ooh, that's the win right there. That's a good friend.
I ate 2 double doubles at I think I was at mile 50, and I just was like,
yeah.
And people would go, oh, how was your stomach? Perfect.
Exactly. I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. It is great. Thank you very much. I love it. Yeah.
All right. So
I like those. I like all those long things, man. It gets you right in the head. It makes you think about wondering about all kind of things that you should have did or what you're going to be doing. get you in that space where it's just you and you for a while. I can appreciate that.
I said to Mike the other day, I was talking about, he said, "Hey, I really wanted to do the 68 mile with you." And I couldn't. He's an L1 cert teacher. I think he had one that day. He said, I said, "Yeah, well, they wanted to do it again." And I go, "I thought, why not make it 100?" And when you finish, we did a mountain change, a trail run of 60. I go, "If you come back on the road, it's another like 30 miles. I go, "You'd do 100. I go, "Why don't we?" He goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." He goes, "That's where you're going to get messed up." He's like, "Because your gait's not changing at all on that road. And that's where the injury and the pain and everything." He's like, "You're getting cocky." And I was like, "Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right." Now, the reason I'm bringing this all up, you're a man that did the Eco Challenge.
I did.
Which seems impossible, yet like what I learned from doing just 68 miles, which is nothing compared to what you did. I learned it's fun because of the ever-changing, like, and we were just running and hiking.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you get to go, I don't know, is it horseback riding? You're like mountain biking, you're running, you're climbing, I mean, there's everything. You're kayaking.
I think that's the draw for me for those kind of adventure races or sports like that is the change of everything. Everything is long. Like you're still doing long time on your feet, long time on bike, long time on boat. All those things are long, but the variety that keeps you moving. So you're like, oh my God, I'm going to walk for whatever, 20 hours. But after the walk, we get to paddle for 15 hours.
Yeah.
And after the paddle, we get to mountain bike for 36 hours, however long it is, you know. It's just like, so the change makes it cool, you know. And I think the biggest part of that sport is it's really, the event is there, but it's really about the teamsmanship.
Yep. That's what
the people on the team and the bonds that you create and the stories you get to share, and you get to see each other suffer, you get to see each other relish and like all the victory and stuff. And that's the part to me that just resonates because, man, you get true friends for life.
Yeah.
Life, one of those two things.
Yeah.
Most of you get true friends for life. And it's just, I wouldn't discount that ever. You know?
Just my little, and I call it a little 68 mile run because that's how I compare it to what you did. I went with Tommy Hackenbrook and Hunter McIntyre.
Oh, that's my man, dude. I love that dude.
And I felt like we bonded for life on that. Like I couldn't have done it without the two of them. Like I lost them for a little bit and they waited for me and they picked me up and kept me going. And just like they inspired me, and everybody quit except for like our group. And it was because of them. And I got to say, Tommy Hackenbrook is a man of men. The monster. He didn't bitch. Awesome. He didn't bitch one iota, not once. And I'm professional complainer. I do it for a living. As a comedian, I have to look at things and find things wrong with them. So I was like, oh my God, I can't believe how sandy this hill is. You know, like, and Tommy, it was kind of bothering me how like just the mental toughness of this guy.
Yeah.
And it made me realize. Yeah. It made me realize why he was so good at the CrossFit Games, because he's not built to be a CrossFitter. He doesn't have the build. He doesn't have it. He's definitely got the strength, but just, I mean, his mental fortitude is like nothing I've ever seen. And then Hunter is like he's kind of like Rain Man when it comes to endurance. He's just a weirdo and doesn't, God gave him this weird ability. He's got like a resting heart rate of 2.
Exactly. It beats sometimes.
Yeah. And nothing affects him. And, you know, he's chasing frogs around like off the trail into the creeks. And he's just weird. But
having fun with it, dude. That's what it's about, though, man. You know, sometimes the event is just there to make everything else happen.
So was this your first Eco Challenge, or have you done it before?
First Eco Challenge. We've done adventure racing, extreme adventure racing before. So me and Brian Shantosh has done Primal Quest. We did GODZone, and this is the Eco Challenge. So I love that sport. Like, it is freaking hard, but I love that sport for the bondmanship and the teammanship that I was talking about. But not my first event. First time with this new team. So everybody on the team, I don't think everybody on the team was new to adventure racing besides the team captain. So it was really exciting to see Corey, who's an awesome endurance runner, Sam, who's an awesome endurance bike rider, them gravitating or learning new sports, learning new water sports, learning new foot sports, learning all the different things was like super exciting for the team just to kind of grow.
Is it a 5-person team?
4 racers, and on this Eco Challenge you had a 5th person. That was your They took care of your camp. They built your bikes for you. So it was your support personnel.
Okay.
And actually, it was the first time I've raced at that level where we did have a support person. It was nice. Thank you, Michaela, very much. Rock. It was freaking awesome.
And did
Like,
you have to have one female on your team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think most races you have to have at least one opposite sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. So,
Yeah.
In all the adventure races you've done, is this the hardest, or is it?
I can't say that because we didn't actually complete the race.
Yeah.
So, was it the hardest? No. I think the hardest race I've done thus far was GODZone. Unprepared, slap in the face, slap in the ball, slap in the PP. It was freaking hard and hilly. It was in New Zealand. It was rough.
Oh, I can imagine.
This race was awesome. Every single event in the Echo Challenge was awesome. Obviously, we had an accident, so we didn't quite get to finish that race.
Where was your Echo Challenge? Echo. I don't know.
Challenge was in Fiji.
Fiji. Okay, that's rough though. That's brutal.
That's brutal, man. Beautiful people, beautiful land, beautiful food, beautiful everything, beautiful course. It was just an amazing experience, like an amazing experience. I was like, damn, this is
Does Mark Burnett put it in Fiji just so he can have you guys running around and he can sit on the beach?
He's on the helicopter the whole time.
that because it seems like it used to be Morocco, and then he'd move it here, and now it just seems like everything he does is in Fiji, and it's like,
well, you think about the name of the race. The name of the race is the Echo Challenge, so it's an ecological race. So they do a lot for the countries that they go in.
Okay,
they help with water, they help with land, they give money to people. Like, it is more than just a regular race. So they do a lot for the communities or for the countries, islands, wherever it is. They do a lot for that as well. So it's not just about the race, which I think a lot of people kind of forget that is the Eco Challenge instead of just an adventure race.
Right. Well, I remember it from its inception.
Yep.
I don't know why. When I just got out of college, I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. My dad wanted me to work for him, and he sold insurance, and I was like,
yeah.
That I can't walk into a bar and tell a chick I sell insurance. I might as well tell her I'm a eunuch. Like I had a buddy who was a professional stealer, and then I was living in Pittsburgh, and a guy that was a heart surgeon, and like he was in school to be a heart surgeon. We would go out to meet girls, and one guy's like, "Yeah, I'm in school to be a heart surgeon, and he plays for the Steelers, and Eddie sells insurance." And I was like,
You're like,
I was like, thanks, guys. Why don't you just tell them I have AIDS? Why don't you just say Eddie here has AIDS?
Eddie here is not a contributor right now.
Yeah, I was like, and I was like, I want to do something exciting, not to put down people that do that, but I was like, I want to do something exciting with my life. And I was working out a lot at the time, and I'd just gotten done running, and somehow I saw a magazine article about the Eco Challenge. It was the very first one, and so I called a number. I called a phone number to find out how I get involved. And the girl goes, I'm going to have Mark call you back. So this guy, Mark Burnett, calls me on the phone. And this is like before anything. And he starts explaining to me what I need. He's like, and I was like, okay, I mountain bike. I've ridden horses. I know a little bit about climbing. I've rock climbed a bunch of times. I'm like, I'm sweet. I've kayaked. I know how to do all this shit. And then he's like, and you're going to need $60,000. And I was like, I'm out. I was like, I'm out. I want to interrupt this episode to talk to you about one of my favorite things in the world, and that is chocolate milk. I'm not a big fan of milk, but chocolate milk is delicious. And at a certain point in my life, I felt too old for chocolate milk, and I stopped drinking chocolate milk because I felt like a child. But you don't have to, because it's amazing. And how about I stopped drinking it because it was full of sugar. Not Slate. Slate is it's awesome. It was founded by two people like me, two adults that love chocolate milk and wanted it to be a little healthier. So they got together, they started a Kickstarter, they got on Shark Tank, and they created delicious chocolate milk that are now available in over 3,000 stores and through their own website. Makes me sad when I can't find it in the store. I want it in every single store because it's awesome. Why'd you stop drinking chocolate milk, huh? Was it too much sugar, huh? Can't handle the lactose? Well, guess what? This is the better for you chocolate milk brand. And and they're giving chocolate milk a clean slate. So here's the deal. High protein, low sugar, lactose free. How's that sound? It's got everything you need. High protein, low sugar, lactose free. I'm going to say that one more time. High protein. It's what you all care about. Low sugar, lactose free, cans of delicious chocolate milk. Okay? Not plastic, cans. 17 grams of protein. 17 grams. 75% less sugar than the regular chocolate milk. And that little bit of sugar, that can help you, give you some energy before a workout. You're going to get your protein. You can drink it after the workout, get that protein you need to rebuild your muscle. They got 3 different flavors. Classic chocolate milk, tastes just like your favorite milk. They've got dark chocolate milk, which is like a 72% cacao bar. And then they've got espresso chocolate milk, which is like that extra chocolatey mocha latte with 150 milligrams of caffeine. So how about that? All right. And it's brewed with Colombian coffee. So it's breakfast boost, 3 p.m. pickup, packed with protein. It's just a great post-workout. I think you can even pre-workout with it. It's the healthier chocolate milk designed to be chugged every day. And by the way, their aluminum cans are 100% recyclable, and Slate is a certified plastic-neutral organization. So here's the deal. You want some Slate milk? Go to slatemilk.com. S-L-A-T-E. S-L-A-T-E-M-I-L-K. S-L-A-T-E-M-I-L-K.com. Did you get that? S-L-A-T-E-M-I-L-K.com. Slatemilk.com. Put in WodCAST 15. That's your code. WodCAST 15. Guess what? You get 15% off a 12-pack. WodCAST 15. 15% off. Slatemilk.com. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now.
We're back here. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So, long story short, I never did it. And always wanted to, and then followed it for years. And then realized that there's a whole group of people out there who train for this that are really good at it. And I was, it was a little too big for my britches.
Check this out.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
man. So
people need to know.
People has to do this sport,
and people need to know that you're a former Navy SEAL, which puts you in a category of you guys can do shit untrained. Like you've proved yourself enough that that everything you do, you've trained for. But
sometime in the past, but you still hurt at the end of it, though. Let me tell you, you still hurt. You can get away with a little bit of things.
Was it comparable to Buds at all? Hurt. Was it comparable at all? Like in the pain or the challenge?
The suffering and the challenge is comparable. Like you have to, I hate to say the words, but you have to embrace the suck. You have to be okay with the suffering, because there are times when everything is hurting. You're tired of this. You're tired of that. You've been walking for 20 hours, 25 hours. Your feet are tired.
Right.
I think they're both mental tests. They're tests of the mindset.
Yeah.
Like you have to be okay with being uncomfortable, which is cool. And you have to have a bigger picture why. You have to have an understanding of why you're doing the race, so that the race isn't the thing that you're thinking about. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
you understand why you're there. Hey, you're there to be part of a team. You want to challenge yourself. You want to be there for the people. Like whatever that why is for you, that has to be far greater than worrying about each step in the race. The race is kind of an avenue for you to kind of get down so that you can go and experience the experiences of a race. Buds is a little bit different. Buds is, obviously everyone knows it's really freaking hard and difficult and everything, but it's different because you somewhat know how the days are planned out. You know that you're going to get your ass kicked. You know you're going to be wet. You know you're going to be sandy. You know you're going to be hungry. You know you got to put out 100%. And all that stuff is easy to kind of, I won't say easy. It's just, you can compartmentalize those things a little bit. It's just different than, there's a little more known versus in a race like Echo Challenge, Primal Quest, GODZone, there's a lot of unknowns in there, which is the struggle, the struggle.
Yeah. What was the worst part of Echo Challenge?
Worst part of Echo Challenge was freaking the Billy Billy. I don't know if you remember the Billy Billy is, so we arrived on the shore of a river where there was bamboo, like bamboo shoots, bamboo trees.
Yeah.
And you had to build your own bamboo raft. The handmade bamboo raft is called a billy billy.
No. That's where I might tap out.
It was so fucking fun, bro. It was fun, but it was hard because you make a bamboo raft, right? And you're paddling. It was like a 12-hour, maybe a 12 or 14-hour paddle for us up this river because you're using
on your raft
bamboo on my half-sunk bamboo raft, right? So think of like Huck Finn going down the Mississippi on a bamboo raft, but your paddle or your oar is basically a piece of bamboo.
Can you reach
so
the
a
bottom?
Round pole.
Can you hit the bottom
through water?
Can you hit the bottom?
Not much.
So you're not like You're not like a gondola in Venice singing.
There's no singing going on. There might be some cursing, but no singing. Yeah, there were maybe a few shallow spots to get the raft through, but most of it you're trying to use it like an oar. You know?
So frustrating.
But you saw some creativity there. Some people they had kind of shaved off the bottom part of the bamboo, so it was kind of hollow, so it could move more water.
Right.
That did not go into our brain pans when we were making our raft, so we used the round stick. You know, and like every single tree, it's wide at the base and it's pointy at the top. So one side of your bamboo paddle was, we'll say whatever, 3 inches round. Well, the top may be 1.5 inches in diameter.
Oh.
So you were not moving much water.
Did they give you tools and rope and stuff to like build it? What did they give you?
Yeah. So when you got to the place where you built it, you had a couple options. You could, there were some local Fijians there that would teach you how to build the raft. So you could do it yourself. Or some teams, I think, opted for them to build the raft for them, which was probably the smarter bet, thinking about it hindsight.
You know what my option would be? Amazon.com.
Yeah.
Amazon.com. I would order a raft.
Yes. Can I get one Billy, please?
And I will,
it was brutal, man.
And
it was like,
I'll wait for it to get here, 1 day shipping. And I think I'll maybe, get a motor with it, and I'll see you guys at the finish line.
Dude, we're on that thing we started maybe 3 a.m. We paddled to morning, paddled to dark, paddled to morning.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Miserable, bro.
Oh my God.
Miserable.
How much? And you have such, like, everybody has to remember you're carrying your own pack with all your food. That
unsupported.
Unsupported. People don't understand unsupported. They don't
Unsupported
understand unsupported because what I think about endurance racing is it's easy as long as you're fueling yourself constantly and staying at a certain heart rate. But when you're judging yourself going, I need to fuel, but I can't fuel because if I use this fuel, I won't have fuel later when I might need it more. So you're trying to minimize. That's the part where I just have all the
and you're in the world of the unknowns as well. Like I said, adventure racing is the world of unknowns. So it's all map and compass. So you have I need to get from point A to point B, and you're guesstimating your speed of travel. You're guesstimating you're navigating. So all those things are the unknowns. So you may budget from one checkpoint to the next checkpoint. Oh, that may take me 14 hours. But then you get out in the land or you get out in the water, and that's 18, 20 hours.
Oh God.
Well, you hope you packed enough. Hope you're prepared for that because it could go on, then you get to your next space. Maybe they'll have food, maybe they won't, so there's a lot of strategy in adventure racing as well. It's not just, go from don't get me wrong, I love the triathletes and everything, from the swim to get to your bike and the bike to get to the run. It's not that at all. There's a lot of strategy, a lot of cross loading, a lot of just experiences that an experienced racer can kind of help you with. That was the role that I kind of played, and my team captain Cliff kind of played to help our team navigate everything. So yeah, it's a rough one, man, but it's so freaking fun.
Oh my God. You're making me
doing one with my wife.
You what?
I'm doing one with my wife, not an
you
expedition length one. Yeah. We're going to do a little 8-hour one. She's so excited.
You want to stay married? What are you doing?
This was her suggestion.
Maybe she's trying to get you to divorce. That's a perfect way to get the worst fight of your life. We have to,
that is for sure. Yeah.
You know how women navigate.
Oh man, like she's excited. I'm excited to do it.
That's
too.
great.
Like, I want to go so slow and this and that. I'm like, hey man, it's not about the race, right?
Yeah,
it's about the
teamwork.
experience, and the relationship that you build. So, Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I ran into Mark Burnett. He goes to my local smoothie shop that I go to.
Oh, does he really?
And I see him there one day, and I was like, "Hey," we start talking, and he knew Hunter and McIntyre, who's always on the show. I said, "Yeah, Hunter and I want to do the Eco Challenge." He was like, "Yeah, whatever." And I was like bugging him, and then I thought, and now after you tell me about the bamboo, I'm like, no, I take it back. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Well, just let me add some more context to that. So after the Billy, we rode our bikes for, I don't know, 9, 10, 11 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
Get off our bikes, and then we're back on.
How many flat tires?
No flat tires on this one.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No flat tires.
And mostly trail riding?
Mud riding. So a lot of it's a tropical island, right?
Oh.
So red, thick, muddy, to the point where you can't even pedal your bike because there's so much mud stuck between your wheels and your frame that you can't even push the mud through. So God. A lot of hike a bike, a lot of mud pushing, like a lot.
That's almost worse than hiking.
It is.
Yeah.
Because now not only are you going slower than you would be on your bike that you calculate at time. Oh, it's going to take me this long to go, whatever, 70 miles or kilometers or whatever it is. And now you calculate that time for food and for water. But that time is cut into a third because you got to get off your bike and push.
Yeah.
But your bike won't roll because the mud is so thick that your tires aren't moving.
Oh, God.
So you're like bike sledding at the same time. Freaking brutal, bro.
See, you should be allowed to get a tattoo and get the merchandise for this. Not the Iron Man. This sounds like you're allowed a tattoo for this. Like
right.
like Navy SEALs are trying. I respect that tattoo. The Iron Man tattoo? No, come on. You can't get a tattoo from it. Doing the Iron Man's like doing a 10K. And I'm saying all this, and then I'll do it and quit. And everybody like, you pussy, you made so much fun of it, bro. And you conked out.
Yeah.
What was your accident that happened?
So we had just finished a nice long bike ride, took a little nap with Michaela, our fifth person, set up a great camp. We're all like rested. We're all well fed. We get on a bike. It's a long bike ride. I think it was a 110-kilometer bike ride into a jungle, like a 30-kilometer, 40-kilometer jungle trek. Get on our bikes. We're moving fast, dude. We're kind of behind the curve a little bit because we had some penalties or whatever. But so we're moving fast, and we are rolling up teams, like quickly, just rolling teams. Team captain Cliff comes down pretty fast down here can't see my hand gesture here. Pretty fast downhill into a nice sweeping, pretty sharp right turn. Just kind of loses control of his bike, endos on his bike, cracks his helmet. He's had a couple of concussions before, breaks his bike all up. We get the bike repaired, but, I'd say as long as you make the right decisions for the right reason at the right time, you're doing the right thing. So we had to kind of make that call of, man, is it safe to go into this, whatever it is, 60 more kilometer bike ride into a nice jungle trek before we see any help? We've got a broken bike helmet. We've got an athlete that's had a couple of concussions before. He's not feeling well. It's kind of dizzy and everything. It's like, oh man, tough call. So we ended up deciding to go back to the last checkpoint where there was some medical staff to just kind of get an assessment, just kind of see what the guys are like, hey man, you look pretty good to me, whatever. But he was not doing well at all. End up getting back there, and the doc's like, hey man, it's probably, not the sake. I'm getting all choked up here.
Yeah.
Probably not the best thing to continue on. It's still on the team to make that decision, but hard men make hard choices, and this was the right choice to make. As much as it pains and it's brutal to make, it was the right thing to do. So I can still look at all my teammates in the eye. We can still have beers and hang out, and everything's all cool. Just sucks that we didn't get to finish that event.
Yeah. Who was your teammate? And like a lot of people, or a lot of times from what I've seen in Eco Challenge, there's like a theme for a team, like a team met on the internet, or they used like models, or they use, and they always make these like gimmicky teams. A buddy of mine did it that was in, he was on Road Rules on MTV.
Oh, yeah. Golly, that's a long show. Woo!
He was on that show years ago, and his name's Timmy Beggy. And I guess he ended up getting into pitching shows and stuff, and he met Mark one time producing a show, and Mark was like, you should do the Eco Challenge. And Timmy had like zero experience in he played football in college. And And he's like, all right. And I was like, did you train? He's like, oh yeah, I trained. And I was like, yeah, but like, you're not that kind of guy. And he did it. And I think he finished
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
but I forget what, I think his team was made up of all reality stars.
Yeah.
So was your team a special, any kind
It
of?
was. So I think there were 66 teams in that race. I could be wrong on the number. And there were like 16 or so featured teams. And our team was one of the featured teams. We were the first ever all black adventure racing team. Like,
Wow.
ever.
Wow.
And I'm like, whoa, man, it's like 2020. And that's actually there. So it was really cool. So our team captain, Clifton Lyles, decided to put together an adventure racing team of just people of color, which was pretty cool. So myself, Cliff, Sam, and Corey. Corey runs for the North Face. He is an awesome freaking, this dude he just finished a race last weekend, did a 100K followed by a 60K.
Jeez.
Like, just whatever, just
one of those freaks. Yeah.
One of those freaks. He just runs for a living. Yeah. Finishes his race in Speedos all the time. He's an awesome athlete.
What's Cliff's story?
Cliff is a former Marine.
Okay.
He is a professional chef, and he's been adventure racing probably longer than me, actually. Just race on and off different teams, and just wanted to kind of put together a team of color just to see, just kind of bring awareness to people that, because
Sure.
adventure racing at that level is just, a lot of people just don't hear about it.
Sure.
And it takes like a Mark Barnett to kind of make that show visible using Amazon Prime or whatever network, Disney Channel, whatever it is, to bring it to the masses, because people just don't get an experience to see what else goes on. Everybody understands a marathon, everybody understands a triathlon, everybody understands the Ironman. Like, those are traditional sports that people can kind of gravitate to and they see all the time. But this sport is one that's just, it's been flying under the radar for a long time. It's hell of expensive to run. So those guys do a great job of trying to bring the sport up, the sport of adventure racing, bring it out to normal people, if you will. I think a point of note would be, people look at that race, they're like, oh my God, it was 11 days long. That's just crazy. How can I ever do that? I'm like, well, let's just take it back a little bit. Let's stop thinking about the gigantic goal. There are 3-hour adventure races, 6-hour adventure races, 18 hours, 24 hours, 48, 3 days, 5 days, 6 days. They come in all different lengths. So I encourage people to go out and just grab a bike, grab some paddle, and grab some shoes and go get it done for a little bit,
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it's one day at a time kind of thing.
Yeah, one step at a time, man. Just keep moving forward. And that's why I think people get, oh, I could never walk that far. I'm like, well, you can if you just take one step after the other, you'll end up getting there.
Yeah.
What I don't want to leave out our female on our team. Her name is Sam. She did an amazing job. Sam is a cyclist. Has never adventure raced before, never swam before, never paddled a boat before, and she did an amazing job at learning kayaking, learning to swim, learning to navigate a canoe, like all the things, man. So proud of her. She did. She was.
Did you guys train? Did you train together? You're where? Are you in like Annapolis? Where are you exactly?
Oh yeah, I live just outside of DC in Alexandria, Virginia.
Alexandria.
Cliff is in. I think it was in Colorado at the time. Corey lives fucking Connecticut or somewhere way up there, and I think Sam is in Chicago. Of course, from Chicago too. But we haven't trained before. Like no one knew each other before the race.
Wow.
So hats off to Cliff about trying to find some athletes that want to take on this challenge. It's hard to find. It's hard to put together a team just in general.
I go away for a weekend with another comedian. I want to kill them after 3 days. Like, you got to spend 11 days with someone you've never met before.
Yeah.
And in such stressful circumstances, that's.
Yeah. Our first, for a race at that level, you have to sign off on a lot of different not certifications, but proof that you can paddle a kayak, proof that you can swim, so we went to Colorado and did a 1 weekend training event together. I think it might have been 2 total, just to kind of meet everybody, check out, it's all about the people on your team. The race is going to do what the race is going to do. If you can't get along with the people, if you don't have a shared common goal, an understanding of why you guys are all there, why you want to suffer together, you will just implode as a team. I thought we did a really good job of exhibiting that the team, no matter what, comes first, regardless of what happens in the race, so
right.
No blowouts, no bad vibes, no nothing. So it was like just an awesome experience. I got friends for life that now that team is called Team Onyx. And at that time there were 5 members to Team Onyx, the 4 racers and Cliff's daughter, Michaela, who was our 5th. Now our team has grown to 23 different athletes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, international athletes from all walks of life. We got actually the race I'm doing in the Talisker Whiskey 3000 or Atlantic Challenge. There's a girl on our team that's rode that 3,000 nautical miles across the Atlantic by herself, who's on the team now. So, yeah.
And you're training for all this. It's not just CrossFit. Like, you own a CrossFit gym.
No, I do own a CrossFit gym. Yeah. It isn't not just CrossFit. I think CrossFit is great for a lot of things. I love the methodology of CrossFit. I understand. I just love what CrossFit does for building community, building strong bodies, but it is like it's the baseline for a solid foundation of which you can put anything on top of.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got a good, solid, strong, let's say CrossFit foundation. I can ride a bike. I can carry a pack. I can climb a mountain. I can swim. I can do all these things. So it's a great way to build a foundation for that. Yeah.
But you're putting some miles in. You've got to be able to do this.
Yeah, you do. For two reasons. Yes, you're putting some miles in. The first reason is, man, you've got to condition your body.
Yeah.
Right. It would be irresponsible and selfish for me to drag a friend off the couch and go, hey, let's go walk for 18 hours.
Right.
They're more than capable of walking at a slow pace for 18 hours, but their feet are just going to be crushed.
Right. Hunter does that all the time. He recruits friends that haven't done shit since college to do these like crazy events with him. And then they end up crying, and he's like, I can't believe it. He was so tough in college, and he was crying. And I'm like, you don't take a man out. It's like torture.
Yeah. So you got to get conditioned. You got to get conditioned to the endurance part of it, because everything is super long. Well, it's long relative to the race that you're doing. For 11-day race, you need to be on your feet you need to be able to stay awake at night and move throughout the night. You got to be able to carry your pack. Got to be do all those different things. For a shorter race, hey man, why don't you and 3 buddies go do an 18-hour race? Hey, you can stay awake for 18 hours. You can walk 6, 7, 10 miles. You can bike 10, 15, 20, 30 miles. So you can do those things. So in shorter blocks of time and peace.
Yeah, but I think when you're going to recruit, I would only recruit women. I would recruit women because when it comes to endurance, they hold a baby for 9 months.
Yeah.
9 months. They walk around with something like I take my kid out now in my backpack and we hike for a mile and a half, and I'm like, I'll be like to my wife, can you take him? Because you're good at this. You did this for 9 months.
Yeah, there was a lady actually in Echo Challenge who just gave birth 3 months before the race.
That's insane.
Yeah, and she crushed it. I forget if she was on the New Zealand team or what team she was on, but she
Of course she did. She had a human being come out of her womb.
She's like,
they're
if
aliens.
I can give birth, I can walk.
You're listening to me right now, women. You're aliens. You're aliens. You're a different species to us. The fact that you can do that, we can't do it. I'll never understand. I'll never, ever, 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 ever understand sexism of men being not misogynistic, but men being male chauvinists, thinking they're better than women, or that men are better athletes, or this or that. It's like they carry a human being.
Exactly. I mean, and they give birth.
I get gas. And as soon as I fart, I'm like, I was worried I was gonna have to go to the hospital. That was hurting so bad.
Have a hemorrhoid in a minute.
Yeah. And 9 months. So I would think that in this sport, women, I mean, it's proven women have better endurance or better pain tolerance. It is, I think.
Yeah.
They're just
I think
built
the challenge for this sport is, oh God, I'm actually going to say this, is okay, so you typically all the teams have one opposite sex. Mostly it's 3 men and a woman. Most teams are built like that. I've seen teams where there's 3 women and a man, still do great. But it's that when things get really, really tough, and when things start to hurt, and when the suffering starts, are you capable of communicating with each other, holding each other up when you need to, not being, I say all the time, eventually all men become purses and all men carry purses. You're going to have a bad day, bro. You are going to have a bad day where you're going to need your teammates' help to kind of get you over whatever the fuck you're on. You're going to need that. They're going to go down, and you need to be there for them too.
Did you guys all feel a certain kind of pressure because you were the first black team ever doing it, all black team, that you had to do well and to represent that was weighing on you a lot?
There was some pressure for that. There were a lot of extra eyes on us. We were one of the featured teams, of course.
Right.
But I think we all felt pressure of, hey, I think every team says the same thing. Let's go out and do the best that we can for this environment, because the race is going to do what the race is going to do. But let's not be the team that fucking implodes.
Right.
Let's not be the team that looks like a fucking shit bags. Let's not be that team. No matter what, we're going to stick together as a team, because our job too is to bring awareness to the sport. Right. And we've done a good job. We went from 5 to 23 already. So that is,
yeah, that's awesome.
That's in winning already.
I remember when it was on TV a couple times on like Discovery Channel the first couple of years. Yeah. And I remember watching when I wanted to do it so bad, and then I'm watching it, and I think it was like year 2 or something. There was like a team of Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
And they were like doing really well. They were doing really well, and then they got lost. They got lost out at sea, like on the sea kayaks, and they're like, and the team of Navy SEALs is missing now. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this shit. Like, Navy SEALs are lost out in the ocean. Like, that's what these guys do. And dude, they're lost.
Any given day, man. Even any given day you fall asleep on a raft or on a kayak and you miss your turn, you're like, fuck. You still paddling downriver. And if your turn was upriver, you got to portage, carry that boat back. It can dissolve morale so quickly.
What years? When did you serve in the military?
I got out of the military 2007. Yeah, 2007. Okay. So I did 12 years that way.
Wow.
It was really good. So I went in late 90s or something like that.
How
kept my toe in the water.
How old were you when you went in?
29 years old, baby.
Wow.
Joined the U.S. Navy at 29 years old, 131 pounds of hulking man.
Wow. Well, those are 2 amazing statistics right there. One, you're probably about 30 to 40 pounds underweight compared to most of the guys.
Yeah.
And secondly, you were on the, at the older age range. I mean, what is it? I think, what's the cutoff for SEALs?
The cutoff is 29. So I was an electrical engineer for a long time, worked for Westinghouse before I decided to join the Navy. Knew exactly what I wanted to do. And once I came to the conclusion of, hey, I want to be a Navy SEAL, and that got into my brain, I was like, damn, I'm old or older for the Navy. And the age cutoff was 29 years old. So somewhere I had to join the Navy. I had to pass it's like a SEAL PRT test in boot camp in order to get picked up to go to the SEAL teams. So I thought I was really smart, and I timed everything. I didn't want to join the Navy not 1 hour earlier. So ended up going to boot camp when I was 28. And it's like, the test is going to be like the 3rd or 4th week, whatever. And I was turning 29 like a couple days after the test.
Oh, no.
So, man, I'm talking about cutting close, like, pucker factor here. So the day the test comes up and they're like, hey, the gymnasium, whatever, is shut down. We can't do the test today. And my heart was like, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Holy fuck, man, I'm at the behest of the U.S. Navy to see when they're going to do the SEAL screening test. So I was able to pass that test like 2 or 3 days before I turned 29, because 29 was the cutoff.
Oh, wow.
So super, super sketchy, man. Super sketchy.
So where were you? Were you in Virginia, or were you in Coronado?
In Kansas.
Okay.
Kansas.
But where did you get sent off to? Were you
we went to Great Lakes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And what team were you with?
Went to SEAL Team 5.
Okay.
West Coast there, yeah.
So you got to live in San Diego and
loved it, dude.
Yeah, have the
like
life.
Going to Buds in Coronado, man. It, like you don't get to appreciate it when you're going through Buds, but as soon as you get out and get on the West Coast in the SEAL team, you're like, oh shit, San Diego's kind of nice. It's not all just cold, wet, and dirty and nasty and painful all day. It's actually there's chicks here too. Oh damn.
Yeah, I always feel like the guys that get stuck in like Little Creek, like I think was Zach Forrest in Little Creek or Castle?
Yeah, he was.
I forget. I think Zach was in Little Creek, and I'm just like, you didn't even get the perks. You didn't get to walk into all the bars in San Diego.
Man. They got it's straight Navy down there. Yeah, we had the beauty of San Diego, which was you had a whole life. At times you figured out that just going to the teams was just like, oh, it's a job.
Yeah,
it's a tough job and all that good stuff. But you had some kind of external life, where I think that there's a little bit of difference on the East Coast for sure.
So what was your secret? Were you always like super athlete, or were you just had pure determination, or into calisthenics? Why did you want to do it, and why did you think you could do it?
Yeah, dude. So the first question, did I have some good genetics? No. What you don't know is that I'm a super scrawny kid. I'm an asthmatic. Up until I was 11 or 12 years old, I had to wear still leg braces on my knees because I was knock-kneed, kind of like Forrest Gump.
Oh my God.
So I, just a scrawny little fucking sickly little kid. It sounds kind of funny now. Scrawny little sickly little kid. But my parents always, I don't remember my parents ever saying that I have two sisters, that we couldn't do something. Like, they were always supportive, almost to a fault, where I remember like saying to my mom, "Hey mom, look at me, I'm on the roof, I'm gonna jump off." My mom would not tell me don't jump off. She goes, "I don't know if that's the best idea." So yeah, man. So always super supportive. My father served in the Air Force. I just remember like seeing the movie Red Dawn, and a friend of mine in high school had gone to the Navy, back when the teams were like really secret, had gone to the Navy, didn't make it.
I thought you were going to say a friend of mine had gone into the mountains in Montana with a bunch of our friends from high school.
Yeah. No. He had gone, he was like
Wolverines.
Yeah, you're like, what the heck's going on there? And he had just planted that in my head, and I knew that I was running triathlon back then. I was a decent athlete. I'm an older guy now, or then. Decent athlete, I could do things, but I knew deep in my heart, in my soul, that I was not putting out, that I was not pushing myself, and I just knew I wasn't living my truth.
Right.
I didn't really know where to go, or what to do, or how to find that truth, but I knew that when I was doing races and stuff, that I wasn't fucking putting out. I wasn't winning everything, but I just know that I knew there was more to give, and I wanted to be better. I didn't know kind of where to find that.
Yeah.
And then the SEALs started getting a little bit of, not publicity, but just started entering my sphere of secretness or whatever. And I just gravitated immediately. I'm like, those fucking dudes are the baddest cats on the fucking planet. I want to do that. Never swam in the ocean before. None of like the Navy SEAL shit. Hadn't done any of that before. But I do have resolve. I can suffer. I love being part of a bigger idea. I love being part of a bigger team. I love being part of a collective that goes and does great things. Even to this day, like, you're not going to find Chris Smith working on his gym by himself. He ain't doing that shit.
Yeah.
But you give me one buddy or a group of people, hey man, we can do whatever you want anytime.
Yeah.
And I've always been like that. I always need like something to be part of instead of just being part of self. So, serving my country, that was a big point for me. Having or gaining the means and understanding and some skills to protect my family.
Right.
Like I said, mom, dad, two sisters. I'm like, I have no fucking skills to do nothing. Like, if something happens, I got nothing. And feeling like, part of the man of the family, I felt like I should have some skills. And if you're going to get skills, might as well go to the guys with the best skills. And that was the SEAL teams. So there are so many things that I felt were missing in my life that the SEAL teams could provide for me. So I just ran in like freaking head on, I guess, if you will, and failed miserably.
Did you bomb out the first buds?
Oh, goddamn, dude.
What day did you ring the bell?
Dude, no, I'd never rang the bell.
Oh.
Ever. Never ring the bell. But, we always say this saying in the SEAL teams, like, oh, man, that wasn't the brochure, right? So in the brochure, you just got to, like, swim a little bit, run a little bit, do some pull-ups and shit, and it's all kind of sexy. But once you get there, it's a little bit different. Like I said, I was super, super, super skinny when I went in. I was like 131 pounds or something like that. And during a hell week, super, super, super cold. 2-mile swim comes up, right? And just freezing to death. Swimming my swim buddy that time, and still good friend Todd Owen.
When you do the 2-mile swim, do you have fins or no fins?
Yeah, fins.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a long time.
Yeah, I
of
know,
exposure,
that's
Plus,
that's also really hard. People don't understand when you have fins that works your legs like crazy, your
does.
calves and your
Yeah, and just
hamstring.
like burning calories
Yeah.
too. And I didn't really have a lot of fat or anything. I
Yeah.
probably had like 3% body fat or whatever. But anyway, ended up hyping out on the swim
Oh.
Tuesday or Wednesday in Hell Week, my first Hell Week, class 205. Hyped out. I remember coming back from that swim, and at the end of the swim, the buzz instructor is sitting on a kayak and he's like, "Hey, swim pair, whatever, go down and get a bottom sample." I mean, you swim, you hold your breath, swim down, get some mud, bring the mud up, put it on top of your head to show that you're okay. You're not gonna have a shallow water blockout or whatever.
Right.
I remember that. Then I remember being on the beach and talking to an instructor. Then I remember being out on the swim. Then I remember being in the medical building. Then I remember being back on the beach. So I have all these blocks.
Yeah.
So apparently I hyped out during that swim. Yeah, like bad. And I remember sitting on that beach in my head, clear as a bell. The instructor's asking me questions. "Hey, Smitty, what's 7 + 2? And in my mind, I'm like, well, that would be 9. But on video, that comes out like, like no motor skills, brain shutting down. Like everything is like just gone, right? Like just hyped out bad. Registered, still might be the lowest. So I'm going to say it's the lowest ever rectal body temperature, which means during my Hell Week, I had a thin thermometer in my yaya the whole time where they could pull out and say, "Hey, Smith, come over," and they measure you just because they're doing like tests to see like how cold people can get. So I registered at 88.6 rectally, which is maybe kind of dead.
So
really,
wait, so all the SEALs are swimming around with thermometers in their assholes?
No. So during my class, that was class 205, they picked some heavy guys and some middle guys and some light guys
To do some testing.
Just to do some testing, yeah. And I think they do tests all the time.
I think it'd be weird if we're taking volunteers and you're like, "Oh, I love that."
You're like, "I'll do it. I'll do it."
Please shove that up my ass.
Yeah.
How irritating was that? Didn't you feel, or does it go away after a few, like you don't, or did you know it was there?
Well, I don't know if you know much about buds, but you spend most of your time shivering, being hungry, and trying to keep up.
So the last thing you're thinking about is
you're not thinking about a little bit. It's like a super small little cable. It's just a little small cable.
And so 88 degrees. So I surf a lot here, and it's I know the water here, and the coldest it gets in the winter is about 52, I would say. So I imagine that's what you guys are in.
Yeah, about 53, I think, is average swim temperature. Yeah,
brutal. And I'm wearing a 4 millimeter wetsuit, and I haven't surfed in like a couple weeks just because that's how cold. It's about 54 degrees right now, and I'm like, I can't put this wetsuit on and go out there, and your head gets cold and everything. I was an ocean lifeguard on the East Coast in New Jersey, and I took my lifeguard test in the end of May, and I was not a good swimmer at the time. And this was when I was my freshman year in college, and the swim was like a half mile out to a boat and a half mile in. And I remember I was like swimming backstroke. I was like squirting water in the air. And out of like 80 dudes, I finished like 81st. And no, wait. There were 85 guys. I finished 81st, but 4 guys dropped out. So I was like last. But the best part was, I remember at the turnaround of the boat, I said, "Let me in the boat. I have hypothermia."
You did not have hypothermia. No, you were just cold.
No, I was cold. And I said, "Let me in the boat. I have hypothermia." And the lieutenant that was in the boat, I know him to this day, said, "Shut up and swim, you pussy." but I was like I was so slow that the boat that you go around paddled in past me. Because once I went around it, it was done. They were like, "Okay, we can go in now. We have no one else swimming out here." And I was so cold. And the only reason I made the patrol is because I could run. And so
Right.
I ran fast enough that they took me based on that they were going to use me for competition. But they were like,
Nice.
lifeguards swim. That's
No,
what
no, dude.
they were like.
You
That's
guys
what
tread
life.
water and throw the orange thing out there. You're good.
Oh, I always said I wasn't a very good lifeguard, but I was a good swim coach because I would see someone drowning and I was like, you can do it. Come on, I believe in you. I believe in you. And I'd
You
like
can do this for the rest of your life.
And I'm
Just
like-
keep kicking.
and I'm like, swim to me on the shore. And I'm like, and then
I'm
and
in
there-
the chair.
And I remember when, like, because I was always a junior guard. I never made it to senior guard, and the senior guard gives orders. And I remember the senior guard would be like, go get him. And I'd look at him and I'd be like, you're going to be getting me. I was actually rescued once in a hurricane. I was a day after a hurricane. Me and a lieutenant got.
That's big water, though, bro. That's big water.
No, not in New Jersey. It was just the hurricane did it, and it was a nasty day. And we went to get a surfer out of the water, and we got caught in an inlet, and it was as nasty as it gets. And I still we write to the guy on Facebook, and he always jokes about how stressed out I was. I was like, you were stressed as I was. He was a lieutenant, and I go, you don't give me shit. We both thought we were dying. We thought like that was the end of us. Like they had to send Coast Guard and everything for us. And he goes, we had it under control the whole time. I go, no, we didn't, because I know I didn't. I was shitting my pants the whole time. I was shitting my pants so much that night I had diarrhea all night. I don't know if it's because how much water I ingested or because of my nerves, because I was so – but I remember I missed – like you had to be at work at like 9 a.m. was roll call, and at like noon I woke up. And I like it was like something crazy, and I called my captain, and I was like, I don't know what happened, because I never slept in like that. I was like, I don't – and he goes, Eddie, take the day off. Like, what you went through yesterday, don't come in today. And I was like, thanks, because that was shit.
Yeah.
But
dude, it's a testament to Mother Ocean. Like, she has a plan.
Yeah, I mean, people don't look. I respect the ocean so much. I'm out there on a surfboard sometimes, and I'm like, you know what? I'm getting out of this rip. I'm going over here, and I think I'm going to call it a day, because this nobody knows what some of the best surfers, swimmers, everything in the world drown out there.
Absolutely, man.
Don't mess with that shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I look at SEALs, and I mean, it seems like, I don't know the stats, but you guys lose guys and buds every once in a while, and
not too often though. Especially not in the water. You know, they do a really good job of kind of making sure the environment is challenging, suffering, but ultimately safe. Because I don't think anybody wants to kill anybody in buds.
No, I don't think they do, but it does happen though. Especially, does it happen in the blackout of the shallow water blackout? Is that?
Yeah, but that's usually in the swimming pool though.
Yeah,
like there are guys that just don't do well with shallow water blackout, and I don't know. I don't have any stats or quotes or numbers of how many people have succumbed to that, but it does happen.
I knew a kid that happened to, just swimming in, like he was just swim practicing, doing lengths underwater, and boom, you should have someone with you if you're going to do that kind of shit.
Yeah, that's for sure. For sure.
I got a funny story. A buddy of mine is a swim coach in New Jersey, and he was one of the lifeguards with me. And one day he took his students and or his team, and he said, he goes, all right, we're going to do a 25 underwater, and if anyone can do a 50, you don't have to practice today. You're done practicing.
Ooh, challenge.
So you got to do 50 meters underwater. He goes, so a whole bunch of kids made it 50. And he goes, this one kid goes up, back, then turns around to go past 50 meters underwater.
Oh,
and he goes, and he's like going. And he said his mother's sitting up in the stands watching practice. And he goes, he comes up like halfway. So he's made it back another half. So he's made it like 75. Yeah. Or no, not 75. So he's gone 25, 25, and now like 12.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's gone like 62 meters or something underwater.
Yeah.
And he pops up. And my friend goes, he stares at me, gives me this big smile, and then sinks. Just passes out, blacks out, goes right to the bottom. And my friend goes, I'm wearing a shirt and tie. He goes, all the kids just dive in the pool to go get him. And I go, you didn't go? He's like, I had on a shirt and tie. And I'm like,
he's going to be all right.
You let your students go get another. He goes, they're all good swimmers. And I go, oh my God. And he goes, I just kept looking at his mom thinking, I'm fired. I'm fired right now. Like I just let a kid.
Who
drown.
is in charge right now? Because that guy's getting fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he survived it. But it was so funny because the kid smiled at me and then passed out.
Yeah. It happens, man. You know, it happens. You come up feeling all good. You're like, oh, I am not. Too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've seen all the videos of the stuff you guys do at SEALs, and it's crazy shit, especially all that like underwater. I mean, you got to have some serious brain control, like stress control, to be able to handle the stuff that you guys do.
It's arousal control. Like it's just now that I'm older, I'd call it mental toughness. You know, I train mental toughness now, and it's mindset. Like again, I don't know why I keep preaching this, but dude, if your why is so solid, the other things don't actually matter. So, hey, my dog's home. Hey, Huggy doggy, what's up, buddy? I know.
What kind of dog you got?
Yeah, so if that's a Doberman. He's awesome. Yeah, super strong, super athletic.
Yep.
Super cool, super muscular.
I just got a new dog. I just got a new dog this week.
Oh, what'd you get?
I got a thing called a McNab dog.
What is that?
I love cattle dogs that like work on cattle and chase cattle around and do stuff like that. And my one cattle dog's 13 years old, so I was like, better start working a new one in that can go out in the trails and run. So I bought this dog. I did my research. They're super athletic. They win all the Frisbee competitions now. Cops are using them in place of Malinois a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to get this dog. Then I'm reading something, and this guy goes, they've tracked cattle or these McNabs. They take them out on the range, and they'll run 100 miles in a day running cattle.
Shit.
And I was like, I think I fucked up.
Yeah. The dog keeps looking back at you like, bro, you coming or what? You're like, hold on. Hey, you coming or what?
100 miles a day they can run. And I'm like,
damn.
Oh, no. So I'm working a lot with this thing.
Yeah, it's awesome, though, man. But, they're loyal, man. I take my dog out. We do like 20, 30 miles. He does. For every 20 miles that I do, he'll do like 3 or 4 miles more.
Really?
Back and forth.
Really?
Yeah.
Dobermans run like that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I did not know they're good at long distance running like that.
Dude, we've come off a 30-mile run, get back to the car. He jumps in the car, grabs his Frisbee, comes out like, let's play. I'm like, wow, let's not.
And they're amazingly loyal and protective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And super smart. I was surprised at how smart this dog is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I trained it or he's training me, but the dog is pretty clever.
I think they rate them as the #1 protection dog.
They do. They're so awesome. Like, yeah.
They're scary too.
Contrary to popular belief, they're scary looking. They're really just like lap dogs.
Yeah. But
they're so cuddly and so like affectionate.
I think they're scary because of Magnum PI.
Yeah.
Remember?
Because they had 2, Apollo and Zeus.
Yeah, and they were terrifying. I've always been afraid of Dobermans because of Magnum PI.
I live in Alexander, and it's an eclectic enough place, but it's a little homogenous, whatever. And every time I walk down the street with my dog, people are like crossing the street. All he's gonna do is lick on you, maybe hit you with his paws a little bit, but yeah, it's crazy. They have a certain look.
One time in high school, it might have even been like pre-high school. It was like we were so young, and we were having a party above my friend's garage, and the police showed up. And there was only one way out, which was down the stairs. And the police had everybody down the stairs. And I was like, well, that's not the only way out. There's windows up here. So I jump out a window. The guy, I remember that Dave Young was the other guy that jumped out with me. And he just did a full, run down the hallway and dove through the window, a second-story window.
Shit.
And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to hang from the window and then jump. So I hung
Look down, try to find a place for your feet.
Yeah. And I jumped down. I just missed a spigot. Like a spigot that would have killed me. Then I run into a fence, and then I climb the fence. I go over, and then I climb another fence, like a neighbor's fence, and I hear dogs. And I'm in a dog pen, and I see how far I have to go, and I'm like, am I gonna beat the dogs to that fence? And I've got that young drinking, I've been drinking. I'm 15 or 16 or whatever, so I'm like, I could do it.
I can do it.
And I just make it to the fence, and I just hear these dogs go attack, coming at me. And I get out, and I go to the shopping mall, and I call my mom, and she picks me up, and But I find out, like, everybody talks about the whole aftermath. And I'm talking
Yeah.
to the kid that owns the house, and I'm like, yeah, and I went to your neighbor's yard, and I jumped this fence. I hear these dogs. He goes, you mean the Dobermans? And I'm like,
Oh.
yeah. He's like, dude, they have like two of the craziest, scariest Dobermans in the world. And I go, I was in their pen. I jumped like right
They're
in
looking at
it.
you like,
And like, he's like, you are so lucky that you made it out of there. He goes, those things would have torn you apart.
dude, it's the stare because they have like, I don't know if you look at them close, they have like a little black mask on, like a little,
Yeah.
little black mask, and they just like, they're dead dark eyes staring at you. You're like, ooh, that's intimidating.
Meanwhile, the miniature pincher might be the cutest dog in the whole world.
Yeah, but he's the meanest though.
Yeah.
Trust me, those dogs are insanely mean.
Yeah.
Like big Dobermans, red-sized Dobermans, they're not, well, they can be bred aggressive like any other dog, but man, my dog's a sweetheart.
Yeah. I've got a mixed Frenchie and pit bull. It's like a mini pit bull that's this big. And my wife and I always joke about it because it's so little that it's like so tenacious that I'm like, if this dog was bigger, we'd all be dead now.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
like this dog can't do it, but it wants to.
It wants to. Inside, it's like, I am the Hulk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would fight any big dog, and it's you see the pit bull in it when it fights, it holds it, the grudge. We'll put it in its crate. 3 hours later, it comes out like, who was looking at me?
Yeah. Last time I was put away, this was happening. Where's it at now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
When you were in SEALs, what was your specialty?
I started as an intelligence specialist.
Mm-hmm.
Right way back then, we had like maybe 9 different choices to choose. I chose intelligence specialist. Now you can have an SO rating, which is what they call it, SEAL operators right now. So yeah, I was in charge of all the intel, thinky, brainy kind of stuff.
Did you do any tours?
Yeah.
Where any like a lot of guys are like, I don't want to talk about shit, man, and I get it, I understand totally. But like, were you Afghanistan, Iraq, any of those?
Man, I don't want to talk about shit.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
I gotcha. I totally understand.
Have you heard the rest? Yeah. Anyway, I was in regular SEAL teams for a while, then I came up to a special missions unit. So,
and I also make fun. I make fun of you guys all the time too, because you talk to a SEAL and they're like, I can't tell you that. That's classified. But if I was a hot chick in a bar, you'd be like, okay, let me tell you about the
embellishing. No, there's like 77 of those cats. I tell you. Yeah.
No, I get it.
I try to keep.
I respect that. I respect that. I'm a guy that I'm nosy. I like to know everything, but for some reason, and I don't blame the guys that get out and talk and write books, and it's cool shit and the world wants to know, but there's something also about secret stuff should remain secret and stuff. Then
I think too, man, if there's lessons learned that you can share to help people get better. Yeah, man, weave in your stories so that you can kind of, in my world, I'm on this planet for one thing, man, to create deep, meaningful relationships and make an impact. If some of those stories help with that, I will share. Yeah, I will share. Takes a lot though, Yeah,
I understand.
There's a lot of other stories that we have that can make impact for what I'm trying to do on this planet.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah,
I know. I totally understand. I've been friends with Zach for years, and I think only one time he like told me like the least tidbit of information. I was like, wow, you guys just
you're like boring.
No, but I completely respect it because I know that's why I could never be one, because I'd be like the guy like day one going, Mom, you're never gonna believe what we did today. I saw Osama bin Laden through my sight, and
I took the shot when I was drunk and I missed.
That's one of the million reasons I could never make it.
Yeah.
But so I do have a deep respect for that. I always have. I've always like looked at anyone that's in special forces in the military, and look, going into the military is a deep, deep sacrifice that you do, and some people do it because they're just dumb and they just like, I don't know what I'm doing it, but a lot of people know what they're doing and know the sacrifice that they're making. Yeah. And especially coming from you at a good job, and you're like,
I did.
No, I'm gonna quit this and go do this. That takes a lot. That takes a lot.
I tell people I had a company car and a pager. Back then that was a big deal, man. You're like, man, I'm making $87,000 a year. It was awesome.
I was
going to like 30,000 in the Navy.
I was in New York when 9/11 happened, and I was very close. I was in like down at the bottom of the village with a view of the World Trade Center that was spectacular, and like we had this big two door windows that looked straight at it, unobstructed, and so I saw it all, and
no way,
yeah, and it affected me that I really like started waking up that week going, I think I have to join the military. Like, I think there is a calling, like there was this visceral, like, what the fuck did they just do? Did somebody just come to my country and kill innocent people? And I was like, I can't, I got to do something. Like that week we ran around with like our heads, like chickens with our heads cut. Like we were driving around looking for friends that were missing, donating blood, taking socks down to the people working at the trade, and there was this like, fuck, we gotta do something. And I think here I am, just a dumb stand-up comedian, and I'm like, now I'm on like a mission, and that's when I like start going to the gym and working out hard, and then I got on the treadmill and it hit that hill portion, and I was like,
this ain't for me.
I was like, I don't think worldwide dominance of Islam is going to be that bad. At least women won't be driving anymore. Like that could be a good thing. That was a bit I used to do on stage, that whole thing. So I feel kind of dirty doing it. But there was this Pat Tillman kind of like, hey, I gotta go. Like I gotta give up my career and go. And so anyone that has the balls and does it, I commend. I'm not super rah-rah. I'm not super patriotic or nationalistic or anything like that. But I do especially understand the camaraderie and the loyalty. I've heard that from SEALs. I think Castro told me that once about like, you're not doing it for your country or you're doing it for the guy next to you. Like you're out there fighting for that guy. And I was like, wow, like that's intense.
Yeah, I love the idea that, when you go down range and go do something, like in my mind, your only job is to make sure the guy to your left and to the right come home.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
your job.
And that's got to be a good feeling, knowing that someone has your back like that. Yeah.
I think this way makes the team so successful that it is a shared common why, or a shared goal, or a shared intent, right? And I think in outside military, I won't say that, but a lot of people don't have a shared belief or a shared understanding. Everybody's kind of out for themselves, maybe not selfishly, but they don't think of their team first. I love this idea of, and I preach it in my gym, I preach it like all the time, man. It's team gear, my gear, me. Like my own personal needs are the last thing I should be thinking about, because things that are happening in the team, even in business, man, it's like, hey man, the business has to run. You got to think about the business first. You got to think of, well, how can you affect the business so that the business runs well? And after that, like, let me take care of myself so I can affect the business so that the business runs well. I think most people have that kind of upside down. They think of their own needs first. Oh, I need this, I need that. And if I have time, I will think about others. And if I have more time, I'll think about a bigger picture. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but there are a lot of people. You see that in the CrossFit gym, where the guy comes in and they need all the space, they need all the gear, they need all the shit to make sure that their workout goes well. I'm like, well, this is a community space, so you need to think about other people as well in the gym as a whole. So yeah, team gear, my gear, me.
I like that. I'm that guy. I'm like, I need that best rogue bar over there. You get off that, soccer mom. That's mine.
The goes with it.
It's weird. Like I said, I surf a lot, and I have seen, being a former lifeguard, my mentality is that person okay? Is that person okay? Is that person okay?
Right.
And a lot of times I'll see like beginners out there, people that shouldn't be out there, and stuff happening when it's too big or something. And I'm always not thinking, where's the wave? I'm thinking, is that guy in trouble, or is that because I've been out there where I've been in trouble, and I know surfers, and I don't want to generalize all surfers, but it's a very selfish pursuit. It's like, this wave is mine. Everybody get off my wave. I'm going to surf. I'm out here for a couple hours. Back off. This is my time.
Right.
And there's been a couple times where I've had to go help people, pull people onto my board and do stuff,
Mhm.
and like swim them in a little. And I haven't seen anyone else come to their rescue. And so
Yeah.
I'm always out there going, I'm on my own. Like if I got hit in the head or bit by a shark, like I don't know how many of these guys would come to my rescue. But when I go surfing with a group, especially I've been training with these guys that are helping me with this project we're working on, and they're all like top WSL, like big wave surfers. When we go out, I feel great knowing that I have those guys there with me, that there's like a team, or there's, like it's just such a good feeling. So I can understand, I can relate to, that's the only way I can relate to you being on a team and going out with your SEAL buddies, knowing I got this guy on my left and this guy on my right, and that mentality. Because I always,
and your idea too is like, hey man, the me part is like, you can't not take care of you. We all understand that, but let me make sure that all my shit's together so that I can do those other two things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let me make sure that I'm not the liability. I'm not the weakling. I'm not the person in this situation, so that those other two things can happen.
Do you do a lot of speaking? Because,
do.
You are inspirational. It is like, you've had such great experiences and everything. Do you do that a lot?
I do. I do.
Okay.
I actually have 2 talks coming this week. I have a talk tomorrow and then a talk on Thursday. One for a bunch of the Naval Expeditionary, some kind of command, a lot of acronyms in there. And then I'm also speaking to a group of people at Merrill Lynch as well. So bringing some business in there, bringing some, like I said, some shared experiences with some growth. Just kind of reorganizing maybe mindset, reorganizing how this team thing works, and like how we can be better together on this planet, make a significant difference or some kind of impact. So yeah.
How much time do you spend with your CrossFit gym?
I think about my gym every day. I work on the gym every day. I'm not in the gym every day. I have a big cadre of coaches. We have 25 coaches at our
Wow.
Yeah, 25 coaches at our gym, and every head coach understands that.
What do you CrossFit?
Trident CrossFit.
Trident,
Yeah. Trident Athletics technically, but that every coach understands that it's their gym. Like even when I'm there, if you're the head coach on staff, hey man, from freaking shitters to chalk, everything is your responsibility, and I will hold you accountable to that. I will always have your back, but they all understand that. So I don't need to be there all the time. I love being there. I pretty much high five and chest bump people, and our gym is not just an athlete's coaching gym. It's also a coach's trainer gym as well.
Okay.
So we got a big cadre. So my head coaches help train the assistant coaches, and it's kind of more up and down the chain, just trying to keep that.
How did you get into it? From SEALs? Were guys doing the workouts?
Into Trident?
Yeah, into CrossFit.
Yeah. So when I was up here in DC at my last unit, we were just looking for different avenues to train instead of the traditional kind of training. Right. CrossFit was coming around. That was about, when was that? Maybe, I don't know, maybe 98, something like that, 99-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And CrossFit was out there, Mountain Tactical was out there. There's another, I can't remember the name of it, but that kind of style, that high intensity, and I just like gravitate. I'm like, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
I can get a lot of work in a short amount of time. It's constantly varied.
Yeah.
And you get to see the bang for the buck. And I was like, oh, this is how I like to train myself. This is how I train myself. And I love working out with people that like to do that same thing. Started kind of coaching just on my own little bit. Ended up going to level 1 and kind of moving on from there. So yeah, it's just like, it just resonated with me so well. I'm like, this is what fitness should be. It's not just about, the bench press, the back squat, and all those are great lifts and everything, but it's just not about that.
Right. So you weren't one of the guys though that you were in when you were at the SEALs, you like worked with Castro or anything, and you were
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't even know Dave until I was on staff at CrossFit. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's always funny when I find guys who are like, he was my this or he was my that, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
No,
okay.
Not
at all.
And so now, what's going on with you now? Like, what exactly are you doing? Is it speaking and?
Yeah, so we do some speaking. I have another company called Trident Mindset, which we do online mental toughness training for individuals, groups, and corporations. Just trying to kind of give them tactics and tools that they can use and learn on your own to become less stressed, happier, and more calm.
Yeah.
You know, kind of lay that out for them like that. I also do some life coaching and some mentorship as well. Again, I say, I love this, man. Like, I'm only here for one reason. That's to create deep, meaningful relationships and create impact. That's it.
I saw you on a video somewhere saying like you do a thing where you try to make 7 people smile in a day.
Every day, dude.
That's
Go
hilarious.
out of my way every day. Every day. Not successful every day. Just
That's a hard thing. That's a hard thing to do. 7 is a lot.
It's a lot of people.
You know, I have
especially like now, because people aren't even going anywhere. So now I just like, okay, I also call it the 7-second rule. Well, I'll try to spend 7 extra seconds with a person. Like, you know, instead of, you know, you walk by, hi, hello. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'll ask a question. I'll have a couple follow-up questions. So I'll spend some extra time to create that impact or that memory and just kind of shake people out of their normal course of the day life or whatever. So I go out of my way to try to make an impact. Like
that's great. That's I wish I was that benevolent. No, I mean,
I'm not saying I'm always successful. I'm saying it's always on my mind.
There are times like I'm not, like I try to be as funny as I can be on stage. When I'm on stage, I'm doing my show. I try to be as funny as I can be and kill and I want everybody leaving going, I had the best time of my life. Yeah. Knowing that I have that skill when I want to, sometimes I feel like I'm selfish that I could give that to people all the time, but I turn it off. I turn it off and I'm like, look, I know what I can do and I'm just it's work and I'm going to do it. But there are times I'll be at like the bank or in the grocery store or something. And I'm like, I have this skill. This person looks miserable. I'm just going to give them like, it's like the only thing I'm good at and I'm going to make them happy and I can do it.
Right.
And so I'm going to spend a little bit of time and make a couple little comments that make my mind, I've got to go into work, like, and do it. And I do it. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, you're an asshole. You should do that way more often. like you're a selfish prick because you could make people laugh like that all the time. But no, you chose to like get in an argument or like sometimes I get mad at myself. Like I'll argue politics with my dad. I'm like, I could have just made my dad laugh. I could have just sat there and made him laugh for 10 minutes, but no, I wanted to argue about Trump or something. You know, and I'm like, what did that prove?
What did I get out of that?
I got nothing out of that. He still thinks I'm an asshole, and you know, and he doesn't. And so I wish I could be more like that. So I envy you.
Well, you got to think about it too. So the other side. So you know, there's the heads and the tails of the coin. Like I live on the skinny side of the coin. So we got to think about that. Like, well, being funny and make people laugh is your job. Well, say I punch a clock from 8 to 5. When I go home, that job is done. Well, maybe not right now, but that job is done, and you get to be somebody else. So being on all the time is a little bit exhausting. I wouldn't say it's selfish. I wouldn't say it's the wrong thing to do, but hey, sometimes you need a little break because that little space that you have at a break makes you better at your craft. Otherwise, you're just constantly spewing. So don't ding on yourself for, you know, not making people laugh sometimes.
Well, I appreciate that. Now, next time I look at that person, I said, you look miserable. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm going to think of you.
You're going to think of me. Chris said I could.
I can't wait till the next time I have a show in DC. I want to come into your gym.
Heck yeah, man. Always welcome, bro.
Yeah. And like where are the places that people can find you and follow you and give me some stuff.
Easy, man. I try to keep it simple. So tridentmindset.com, spelled just like it sounds, TRIDENT mindset.com is the online mental toughness company. And then you can hit me up at Chris, CHRISS at tridentathleticsva.com. Super simple. I'll send you the links or you can put them.
I love the mental toughness stuff.
Man, it's going great too.
Mark Devine helped me years ago. He was one of our first guests on the show. Kenny Kane brought him on.
Yeah. And he spent a lot of time with Mark. And still doing great things. I love that man still, you know, just trying to make the world a better place.
Yeah, I learned box breathing from him, and it changed my life.
Yeah.
And just knowing that it opened the door to so many other types of breathing and stuff that just get rid of anxiety, help you with sickness, help all kinds of stuff. So I tell everyone you should, take this stuff
Yeah,
seriously.
that's like one of our 12 tactics right there. It's like, hey man, you just are in control of your mind so that you can be a happier, more calm and less stressed person. Like we're just trying to teach you tactics and give you tools that you can control your space. That's all we're trying to do. Everybody will find something that works for them there, which is great. So I'm glad you found some kind of breathing technique to help you out there. Like it's awesome.
Well, I wish I could join Onyx. Is it Onyx? Onyx?
Team Onyx.
What's it called?
Team Onyx.
Team Onyx. I want to join Team Onyx, but I'm a little too pale. Maybe if I go get my 23andMe, who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Everybody's part of Africa, bro. Somewhere in there. I know I'm Scottish somewhere. I'm like, how the hell that happened?
It is. I think it's always funniest when the racist people find out there's something, like some anti-Semitic. What? I'm Israeli? What?
I thought that was German. No.
I love that stuff. And I think it's so funny because I think we should, if I worked at 23andMe, I would just lie to everyone. I would lie to everyone. And then it'd just be like, there'd be no more racism because people would be like, I can't believe I'm Palestinian, I hated those people or whatever. But
oh man.
And because no one could ever doubt them. Like, what? They said you're Cuban?
Yeah. How do you know?
You're not Cuban. They say I'm Cuban. So,
yeah, man. It's all good. So yeah, I'll hit you up with the digits, man.
Yeah.
C. Smith at Trident Mindset. Chris at Trident Athletics. Be good.
Thanks for your time and congratulations on everything you've done and accomplished. And it was an honor to finally get you on here.
Yeah, we've been working on this for like 2 months now, 3 months or something.
No, for directly, but like years.
Yeah, years. That's true.
It was always like he'd be a great guest. Yeah, if we could ever find him. He's in the middle of Fiji right now, picking clay off his tires.
Man, building a bamboo raft.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that was miserable.
Yeah, I
wake up with cold sweats some days.
I want some pictures of that. Do they have videos of that online?
Yeah, actually the whole show's out on Amazon Prime, which is great. So.
I'm going to watch that for sure.
Oh,
I'm definitely gonna watch that.
I finished with one funny story. So as one of the featured teams for the Echo, we had a constant photographer and a couple of videographers that were with us like most of the race. And we had this one guy, I think his name was Steve. I can't remember if it was Steve or Bob, but he was always our videographer during the night cycles. We're the first ever all-black team in the Echo Challenge. There are no lights anywhere in Fiji. This poor guy was walking around for days with no footage. I was like, oh, dude, you suck right now.
That's hilarious. After 2 days, he should have gone, I'm done.
Yeah, we started laughing at it. But he was there in the last day for us in the daytime. He's all like, finally. I'm like, oh, it's a horrible circumstance.
He just turns in some blank footage, and they're like, where's everyone?
Dude, it's dark in Fiji, too, man. There are like no lights anywhere. We rolled up in this village one time. I'm like, holy shit, there are no lights but our bike lights. And we rolled right into a town with hundreds of people waiting for us on this mountain. I'm like, wow.
They came out of nowhere?
They were just there.
I live in, if you can see what I'm in right now, I live in a dark sky neighborhood. Yeah. There's only a few of them in the United States, and they basically are that like because we're tucked in the mountains, we get no ambient light from the city.
Oh, really?
And I'm 30 miles outside of LA. And in this little crater up in the mountains, we get no ambient light. So the neighbors, it's like our neighborhood policy, you try to keep your lights off after 11 o'clock. So sometimes I'll go on late night runs and, I'll leave my house and everything's fine. And I'll get like 2 doors down and I'm like, I'm going to die.
Yeah, it's like, so crazy, right?
So
but it settles down the parasympathetic nervous system. You're like, oh my God, I'm just in this space.
Yep. Yeah.
I love it. It's awesome.
All right, dude. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And keep in touch if anything I could do for you anytime. I love it. And when I come to DC, I'm definitely stopping by.
Hell yeah, man. Always welcome, bro. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
And thanks for making me smile.
Yeah.